Hi everyone, another pre-conference interview here. I'm here with Theresa Wall from the Calgary Immigrant Women's Association. Hi Theresa.
Hi Glenn, thanks for
My
having
name
me.
is, oh thanks, thanks for being with us. My name is Glenn Cochran. I'm the conference co-chair for the TESOL Canada 2015 conference along with Chris Wharton. Theresa is presenting in October at the conference. Theresa, what's your presentation about?
The presentation is called Working with Struggling Adult English Language Learners, and Liette Wilson, Nabila Ghaffar, and myself will be presenting on an action research project that we've been working on over the last couple of years. And what we did is we identified in their CLB1, CLB2, and ESL literacy classes the learners who were having the most difficulty. And we looked for strategies that would work best for those learners. So in the presentation, we'll talk about what we learned over the past 2 years and how we can support learners experiencing difficulty.
Great, it sounds wonderful. Can you give us a preview of maybe one or two key findings that you found from your learners?
Sure. Well, first, over the course of the study, all the learners that we focused on were able to make gains on the outcomes that we were specifically looking at with the strategies that we used. And so that was pretty exciting. And the second thing was that we found that using the right baseline for instruction is really key when we're looking at making sure everybody succeeds in the classroom.
Okay, so it's a matter of using the right, I guess, standard for measurement, you mean, in terms of baseline?
Yeah, standard for measurement. And I think once we know what learners are capable of, and once we're able to measure that, from there, we're able to also teach in a way that they'll make progress.
Great, it sounds really interesting. Did you find or did you notice any sort of tendencies or categories that you could maybe classify struggling learners into? Is that something that emerged from your study?
Well, oftentimes we found that the learning needs are really multifaceted. So, and we might not recognize right from the start what the learning gaps are. But we found with some time and some digging, we would learn that learners would have maybe hearing loss or visual impairment that hadn't been addressed. But then there might have been completely different issues such as foundational learning needs that hadn't been met previously. And once those learners start to move ahead, they have more difficulty.
Wow, that sounds great. In terms of the conference, what are you out at Lake Louise? I know you've been there before. We visited a few months ago as you're part of the planning committee. What are you looking forward to at the conference? Any certain presentations or any aspect of the conference you're looking forward to?
Yeah, well, the whole schedule looks fantastic, and I know I won't be able to get to all the great presentations that are there, but two of the presentations really connect with some of the work that we're doing here. And one of those is how differentiated instruction leads to learner success. And that will address issues in the ESL literacy community. And then another one, that's by Liette Wilson, another one by Val Begley and Katrina Derricks-Langstraat on learning centers also looks really promising and is also really critical for supporting learners with struggling with learning difficulties.
Yeah, that's great. I think we will be interviewing Val maybe next week at some point, so watch for her interview. And it's true, our schedule is very packed. We have, I think, at least 10 presentations at any given time. So you're right, you can't see everything, but there's a lot to choose from.
It's great.
Yeah. Thanks a lot for being with us today, Theresa.
Thank you, Glenn.
See you in Lake Louise.
See you.